Turn your heads up that way to where I'm pointing and have a look at the second to last concrete ball. Can we see there's a piece of concrete missing? There we go. Can we all see that's like an orange segment been removed? That's important to the story of this bridge. The oldest bridge in Cambridge, Clares Bridge, built in 1668 by Thomas Grumbold. Now this bridge, believe it or not, cost £65. 65 whole English pounds back in 1668. But the masters of Clares got very greedy and they decided that even that was far too expensive. So after the bridge was built, they refused to pay him for it. Thomas Grumbold was of course livid. He then found out that the greedy masters had decided to make it worse by putting a tax on the bridge, and they were going to tax everyone who crossed it a fortune. What did he do? He removed that one piece of concrete. What's the point of that? Because you can't tax an unfinished structure, that's why. So there they had a fully functioning bridge that they were by law not allowed to put a tax on, so he ended up cheating them out of a lot more money than he was cheated out of himself. And he merged them together and renamed them under the alias of one super college, Trinity. And that is how Trinity was born, with no money being spent on it whatsoever. Now, a few things it's worth mentioning about Trinity. It's actually one of the wealthiest colleges in the entire world. The assets of this college are around 1.51 billion. Now, my friends from Scotland, you will no doubt know this, but my friends from elsewhere, do we know a supermarket called Tesco's? Have we all seen Tesco supermarket? Fantastic. Trinity College owns 50% of their land. They also own the land where the London O2 Arena stands, and they own a third of all the Nobel Prizes that Cambridge University has. This is also the college where Isaac Newton went to study. Isaac Newton ended up becoming the youngest fellow in Cambridge University history as well. Possibly the most brilliant and famous bridge on the river, the Bridge of Sighs. The gorgeous stone masonry is iconic. The top stone masonry is gorgeous. You've got the portcullis on the right, on the left there, and in front of us we have the Beaufort family crest because Margaret Beaufort founded St John's. Now, St John's College, oh no, here, we're going to start with this first actually. The Bridge of Sighs, well this was originally actually called the New Bridge, and it was built in 1831 by Henry Hutchinson. Because the Bridge of Sighs is in Venice, not Cambridge, and he wanted this to be called something different. Unfortunately, he was so excited with his new bridge, he decided that he would show it to Queen Victoria, who had seen a picture of the original Bridge of Sighs. After saying that this was the most beautiful bridge she'd ever seen, she then said, "What's it called?" He renamed it for her on the spot, because it was a far better idea than telling the Queen that she was wrong. Hands in the boat, please, mate! Hands in the boat! Hands in the boat! You will lose your fingers, mate. Keep them in the boat, and please don't push the boat away. Thank you. Guys, as you can see, there's not enough room to turn here, and there is some traffic ahead. So brace yourselves, because we're about to hit a boat. Yeah, what they don't realise is this weighs 3 times what theirs does, and this thing won't move. Please don't push the boat away. You're just going to have to roll with it. Mate, don't punt for just a second. Don't punt for just a second. You're going to have to ride this out. So that is the story of Quayside, if anyone could overhear me over the racket. Hands in the boat, please, hands in the boat.
Ni hao.
Sorry, I'm getting out of your way as fast as I can. Oh well, come on boat, you're going to get wet, what can I say? Now this college has a very bad reputation because of something that happened to it in 1988. They finally started to let women come and study. 1988. That is a ridiculously late time. All the other colleges had got on board with the idea. Magdalens were defiant that they were going to remain a man's college, even though it has been statistically proven time and time again that women study better without men and men study better with women. And that is why to this day there are two women-only colleges in Cambridge, but no men-only colleges. Anyway, in 1988, the men of Magdalens College were told they would be sharing their classroom with women, and the men decided, as men often do, to make the whole situation much, much worse. In protest, they held a funeral through the streets of Cambridge. They went to the undertakers and purchased a coffin. They wore black suits with black armbands, and they paraded the streets of Cambridge with their official slogan, "The death of education." Now, it sounds almost too farcical to be true, but unfortunately it's very true. And this really did happen, and Magdalen College will probably never live it down. However, there is a lovely little ending to this rather twisted tale that makes it all seem quite funny, actually. The three, and the only three, Nobel Prize winning students in the history of Magdalen College have all been women since 1988. Okay, guys, if someone wants to be a hero, they can, otherwise I'll do it. Fantastic. Well done, madam. Thank you very much indeed. That building that Warner Brothers Studios originally wanted to be Hogwarts in the Harry Potter franchise. Unfortunately for the people of Cambridge who were very excited by this, St John's informed Warner Brothers that the bill would be no less than £35,000 a day. Turns out that was a bit much. So they had to go somewhere else. Now they did, unfortunately, they did do part of their filming in the other place, Oxford, and they were charged considerably less. But as we here in Cambridge say, half the price, half the quality. Prince Charles studied here as well. Prince Charles, the first member of the royal family to get a degree, because traditionally the royal family get homeschooled. Now, he had a bodyguard with him at all times for obvious reasons. The bodyguard went under the alias of another student. He was allowed, of course, to sit in all the lectures with Prince Charles, and at the end of the year, they said, why not let him sit the exam as well? This bodyguard outperformed Prince Charles in years 1, 2 and 3 and left with a better degree than he did. Has anyone here seen the film Braveheart?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. You, sir, really? You were my ace in the hole on that one. No, so Braveheart, you have the character Edward the Longshanks. His real-life historical granddaughter was Elizabeth de Clare. So, Elizabeth de Clare also has another nickname here in England. She's known as the Black Widow. This lady first married off at the tender age of 12, had 3 incredibly wealthy husbands, all of them dying within a year or so of marriage by the time she was 26. They left her enough money to make her one of the most powerful and rich women in Europe. The big question, did she kill her husbands? No, she didn't. They died in battle or of disease. Now, that either makes her the unluckiest or the luckiest woman in history, depending on how you want to look at it. She remained single for the rest of her life and built this college. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that building there, the most famous building in Cambridge, King's College Chapel. Construction started in 1446 with Henry VI. There is no official date on when it was finished, so if anyone gives you one, it's wrong. There is none. Now, it is believed to have been at least 100 years in the process, though. Standing at 29 metres tall, it's the second largest chapel in the world. Only the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City is bigger. Inside is a fan vaulted ceiling, so the pillars no longer have to go down the middle of the church, they can go down the sides and they fan up over the top, and those flimsy looking fans are currently supporting 1,300 tonnes of stone. It also has the largest collection of ornate glass from the Renaissance period of English history.